परंतु यहाँ पर एक बड़ा सवाल ये है कि अगर उनका वक्त जो है यहाँ पर 12 बजे मुकम्मल किया गया था निकलने का, ट्रैफिक जो है सबसे पहले यहाँ से निकलते हुए पुलिस का एक बड़ा काफिला, ट्रैफिक पुलिस का एक बड़ा काफिला जो है यहाँ से निकलता हुआ आपको नजर आएगा तस्वीरों में। और ये तस्वीरें जो है कैनाल रोड की दिखा रहे हैं जहाँ पर ये काफिला यहाँ से निकल रहा है। और ये जितना भी पायलट व्हीकल है, जो भी फ्रंट एस्कॉर्ट है, जो भी जितना भी यहाँ पर जितना भी व्हीकल है यहाँ पर निकल रहे हैं। और देश के जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हैं अब निकल के हैं यहाँ से, उनकी गाड़ी जो है अभी यहाँ से निकल चुकी है। और उसके बाद जितने भी यहाँ पर बाकी काफिला है, यानी कि बाकी जितने भी आला अधिकारियाँ हैं, अधिकारियों ड्यूटी से, वो यहाँ से निकलते हुए आपको नजर आ रहे हैं। पर कहीं ना कहीं आम जनता जो है आज परेशान हुई। गवर्नर जो है यानी कि एलजी साहब, जो कि यूपी के एलजी साहब यहाँ से निकलते हुए नजर आए। कहीं ना कहीं जो आम जनता है,
वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी, at the outset I owe to thank you for sparing your valuable time to be with us this morning and encourage us and also bestow us with your words of wisdom. Even though officially I have been designated as a guest of honor for this morning's program, but originally I am part of the host team, and therefore it's my proud privilege to welcome you on behalf of everybody over here, on my behalf, and also on behalf of the people of Jammu. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Vice President is a highly knowledgeable person, highly well-read, highly erudite, and highly literate. The one-liners spoken by him during his speeches and also during the conduct of the upper house, namely Rajya Sabha, in his capacity as chairman, are not only widely quoted but also are highly popular. And therefore, I think it's our proud privilege. There couldn't have been a better person than him to be the chief guest at the convocation. At the personal level also, I feel gratified because the fact that I have been bestowed with his kindness, love, affection, patronage for several years now, even when we were not part of the government. He was head of the political party and I was an ordinary Karyakarta. And I am thankful to him that even after we became a part of the government, he continued to bestow on me with the same guidance, affection, love and patronage. Honorable Lieutenant Governor, who's already said that I am his friend, I believe him and I also reciprocate that he is my friend. Professor Milind, Professor Sahai, I've seen them working, particularly Sahai, for a couple of years, and I know, I can stand witness to how painstakingly, diligently he's been responsible for building this institution inch by inch, brick by brick. I vividly recall when I had come here along with the then HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar ji, that was I think the beginning of IIM, that was I think shortly before Professor Sai took over. And therefore it gives me a great amount of personal satisfaction to see this institution growing into such a glorious form. And I must say that much water has flown down the river Tavi since then, and much has changed in Jammu as well. Jammu today has virtually emerged as an education hub of North India. We have this IIM over here, we have the IIT, we have the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, we have AIIMS, we have 3 government medical colleges within a radius of just about 10 to 20 kilometers. In the Central University headed by Professor Emma, I was seeing him somewhere here, we have introduced the North India's first ever teaching department of space technology through ISRO, to which I also modestly contributed. We have the North India's first biotech industrial park coming up in Kathua, and the series of engineering colleges. And without being modest and without mincing words, I can say with a certain amount of conviction and confidence that all this has happened in the last 7 years, ever since Shri Narendra Modi took over as the Prime Minister. I expected a loud applause, but you are hesitant. You are hesitant. Please don't be hesitant to acknowledge, because it's easier to sympathize with a friend who is in grief, difficult to appreciate a friend who is achieving. It has happened in 7 years, sir, and we owe it to Prime Minister Modi and the Modi government. And you see it from a wider perspective of the youth and students. Just about 20 kilometers from here, we have the India's 3rd or 4th largest stadium coming up, named after Arun Jaitley. I think that is next only to Ahmedabad Stadium or the Eden Garden Stadium of Calcutta, which is going to be a multiplex sports stadium. And we have a water sports complex coming up in the nearby Mansar Lake project. Both these projects, the foundation stone was laid during the COVID pandemic. This is not often reported in the news because somehow it doesn't make a breaking news for the media. But this is happening actually around us. And all this has a direct connection with the youth, the students, and the youngsters. And therefore, gone are the days when the common grievance was that there is discrimination happening against Jammu. Being a student of science, I've learned to talk with evidence. There are projects sanctioned simultaneously both for Jammu and Srinagar. In Kashmir, they are languishing. Jammu, they are progressing. We have the first phase of Ring Road already functional in Jammu. In Kashmir, it is yet to take over. AIIMS, we have already selected first batch of 50 students in Jammu. Kashmir, it is yet to take over for whatever reasons, for the peculiar circumstances over there. Similarly, the Industrial Biotech Park is ready at Kathua. It was to come out at Kapwada. Even the land acquisition has not happened. And therefore, in spite of all this, who still keep complaining that there is discrimination, maybe they are victims of the victimhood hangover of the past. And therefore, I think this is one of the best times happening under Prime Minister Modi. Now, coming back to the IIM, ladies and gentlemen, we live in an age of expertise, an age of professional specialization, and an age of super specialization. And with Jammu gearing up to experiment with new methodologies of entrepreneurship, the new methodologies of industrial initiatives and new methodologies of mega breakthroughs, I'm sure you guys who have obtained degrees today have an opportunity to contribute value addition to these new initiatives happening and new breakthroughs happening. And when I spotted Professor Manoj Dar over here, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jammu, the thought that occurred to me is that we could have or devise means to also have a closer collaboration between IIM Jammu and the business school in the University of Jammu, which itself has distinguished over the years. Many of its alumni are occupying prestigious positions in national and multinational companies. And even otherwise, the age of working in silos is over. And this is precisely what the Modi government has been emphasizing, and the Prime Minister himself, that we should learn to work in collaboration for a wholesome growth of Mother India. Since I just want to make a point, since I, in my ministerial capacity, also happen to be looking after two premier institutions, academic institutions of India, namely the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration in Mussoorie, which trains the IAS probationers, and the Bhabha National Institute, Mumbai, of the atomic energy. Sir, my observation is that in the institutions of higher education today across India, there's a huge demographic change occurring, which sometimes goes unnoticed. And this demographic change is actually happening at three levels. A, at the regional level. For example, even in case of civil services, IAS, there was a time when most of the IAS probationers came from Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. Now you have toppers from Haryana, toppers from Punjab, toppers from the militancy-infested districts of Kashmir. Secondly, there is a huge gender change. There was hardly a time when you hardly came across female in these higher educations. Now you have almost 30% of female probationers in the IAS. And you have rankers, number one. Incidentally, versus I, being a teacher himself, would be amused to know that from 2014, we had, for 3 consecutive years, ranker 1 in the form of a girl. We had Ira Sehgal. I think the girls at least can clap, if not boys. We had Ira Sehgal from Haryana, then followed by Tina Davi from Delhi, followed by Nandini from Karnataka. And only the 4th year, the jinx was broken when a boy from Hyderabad topped, and I thought, thank God, you have broken the hat-trick. So this is a huge change happening amidst us in the student community. And the third change is the linguistic. Earlier on, in most of these institutions of higher education, you had boys and girls coming from elite background. And that will be of some amusement to the Honorable Vice President when I point out. Now we have boys and girls coming from Navodaya Vidyalaya, Kendriya Vidyalaya, from government schools. And ever since I came into DOPT, I started the practice of personally interacting with the 20 toppers of IAS, because that was a learning experience for me as well. And to the Honorable Vice President, I would submit, sir, about 5 years back, I came across a boy. He was ranker 6 or 7 in India. He was from Guntur, sir, your home state, the border district of Guntur in Andhra Pradesh. He had done his entire education in Telugu up to BA, because he came from a family which was not well-to-do. His mother was a housemaid. The nearest college that he could go or access was the one providing Telugu medium up to graduation. And he made it. And made it with such an amount of confidence that when you asked him about his introduction, he had no hesitation to say that my mother is a housemaid. So that is the change which has happened. The youth today, the student today is much more aspirational. And the modern tools of education and technology, the net, etc., and the online provisions have made the knowledge more accessible, preparation more easy. That is why we have, because earlier on you had to have access to costly libraries, costly books which were not affordable for every family. I came across a small girl, class 12, from Sopur. She had qualified IIT. Since I have this fanciful khurafati of trying to learn from these children, so I asked her, said, बेटे आप बाहर मिलिटेंसी थी और ना आप कहीं कोचिंग सेंटर जाते थे ना कहीं, तो कैसे आपने किया? बोले अंकल ये सारा नेट पे सब कुछ है, सिर्फ 6 महीने 14 घंटे रोज की पढ़ाई करनी, IIT क्रैक हो जाता है. मैं कहा बेटे अगर कोई पहले मुझे मिला होता आप जैसा तो मैंने भी किया होता. So that is the amount of confidence, sir. And therefore why I am pointing out this is that it is the responsibility of all of us over here, the policy planners, the educationists, the academicians, the government functionaries, to facilitate and to provide a level playing field to them, which I would say so that it could be made aspirational realization, ease of aspirational realization, I would like to as put it. At the government level, we have tried to find some revolutionary breakthroughs. For example, very recently we abolished interviews for selection, so the written test will be the only merit. From this year onwards, possibly in September, we are going to have a common eligibility test across the country for government jobs with a center in each of the districts. Otherwise, these boys and girls had to run helter-skelter. Sometimes there was a railway department exam, sometimes a banking, and all of them could not afford. So in order to overcome that. And therefore, at the level of IIM also, I think Professor Sahai would give a sound thought to this aspect to meet the barriers of language. just because you are not well versed in English should not be detrimental to your inherent aptitude, which I have learned moving around in the student community for almost half of my life or more than that. The second, the barrier of cost affordability, which sometimes is an issue cropping up from IIMs particularly. And the third, the barrier of making it less bookish and more occasional. And that incidentally reminds me that Francis Bacon, one of the greatest literary writers of his times, had once said that the greatest harm to the cause of English literature is done by the teachers of English. So if we could have more of a field orientation or occasional orientation, they would be prepared to take up the job which Lieutenant Governor was referring to after they have passed out from here. Without taking long, because we are here to listen to the pearls of wisdom from the Honorable Vice President, in the end I would just say, because I've been myself a teacher for more than a quarter of a century, most of those who pass out from IIM take lifelong pride in boasting that I am an alumni of IIM. I wish those who have obtained the degrees today would achieve such glory that Professor Sai and his team at one point of time have the privilege to say, look here, this boy, this girl placed there had been my student, passed out from the portals of IIM Jammu. I don't know whether you realize that you have been born at one of the best times in the recent history of India. India is now entering the 75th years of its independence, and you have 20, 30 years of energetic vigor to contribute. And at the end of the day, you will also have the privilege to tell your children and grandchildren, look here, I was serving the nation at a time when I also had the opportunity to be the architect of Modi's new India. Thank you very much.